Now, here's the voice of the Banks Braves, Trevor Beard.
Good evening, volleyball fans, and welcome to another edition of Banks Braves Volleyball. The Braves coming off of back-to-back wins with a win over Riverdale last Thursday and then a victory at Neocani in a three-set sweep. Neocani's only win of the season came earlier in the season at home here against Banks. Banks had a six-match losing streak before their victory at Riverdale last Thursday. Good evening, I'm voice of the Braves, Trevor Beard. Banks and Yamhill-Carlton. Yamhill-Carlton one spot ahead of the Braves in fourth place in 3A District 1 volleyball. Top 2 or 3 teams likely to get into the 3A state tournament that begins at the end of the month. State tournament will be held at Springfield High School in early November. Banks comes in with a record of 4-8 overall, 3-5 in a league play. Again, winners of their last 2 in a row over Riverdale and Neocani of Rockaway. Yamhill-Carlton 9-10 overall, 4-4 in league play. Yamhill-Carlton with an outside chance at sneaking into one of the top 20 spots in the rankings, which would earn them a spot in the 3A state tournament. Banks ranked 39th out of 46 teams. Trying to move into a tie for fourth with Yamhill-Carlton. Top 3 teams right now in Coastal Range League Volleyball are Corbett at number 7, Warrenton, and Rainier in that order. The guaranteed spots from the Coastal Range League, again based on seeding, but Yamhill-Carlton, again with a strong finish, could move in to one of the other at-large positions and earn a top 20 seeding in a spot in the state playoffs towards the end of the month. Looking at the rosters for the Tigers first. Number 1, Dakota King, a junior outside hitter, middle blocker for the visitors. Number 2, Kelsey King, freshman outside hitter. Number 4, Ollie Matson, sophomore libero outside hitter. Number 5, Peyton Gregor, a sophomore outside hitter. Number 7, Natalie Frey, junior outside hitter. Number 8, Ella Amerson, a sophomore defensive specialist. Number 9, Adele Petratus, a senior setter right side hitter. Number 10, Madison Gwynn, a junior defensive specialist. Number 12, Rhea Wolf, a junior outside hitter. And number 15, Cecilia Petratus, a junior setter outside hitter. For the home team, the Banks Braves, number 1, Lauren Jansen, freshman middle blocker. Number 2, Lily Ann Booth, sophomore defensive specialist. Number 3, Kendall Shook, a sophomore defensive specialist. Number 4, Jocelyn Janasek, one of 3 seniors on this young team, a senior outside hitter. Number 5, Kylie McCraw, freshman defensive specialist. Number 6, McKenna King, junior right side hitter. Number 7, Ava Bogroff, senior defensive specialist. Number 8, Marissa Herbert, senior defensive specialist. Number 11, Jordan Mallard, junior outside hitter. Number 12, Morgan McCraw, sophomore setter. Number 13, Lily Evie, a junior middle blocker. And number 14, Mackenzie Donnelly, a junior right side hitter. The Tigers are coached by Jess McGraw, assisted by Jake McGraw and Kaya Ellis. The Braves are led by Diana Herr. We'll go ahead and take a 1-minute break and tell you a little bit more about what else is going on tonight before the start of tonight's match. This is Banks Braves Volleyball on Westside Mobile Media.
Want to give your kitchen or bath a fresh new look? Jason Bond Remodeling has over 20 years experience fabricating and installing stone countertops and can upgrade your home with the countertops of your dreams without the dreamy price tag. They pride themselves on quality and customer satisfaction. They also offer cabinet installation and will do their best to beat any bid by 10%. Based in Washington County and will service most Portland area locations. For quality kitchen and bath remodels, call Jason Bond Remodeling at 503-430-0145.
Jim's Market in Banks is an institution serving the community for generations. They're actively involved in events and athletics from the youth league to high school level. Let them serve you with their locally grown fresh produce, fresh bakery items, including custom cakes, and quick hot food from their in-store deli. Jim's Market, conveniently located at the south entrance to Banks.
And we're back just about 5 minutes to the opening introductions for tonight's match between the Banks Braves and the Yamhill-Carlton Tigers at Banks High School. I'll also be handling public address duties, so we'll have a short intermission once the clock hits 0 and the players are introduced. Tonight is also the first home game for the Braves for the state of October, for the month of October. So that means Breast Cancer Awareness Night. They've done several different things over the last 9 seasons since we've been broadcasting Banks Athletics. Have held auctions between sets in the past and raised a lot of money for the Susan G. Komen Foundation. I haven't seen that in the last couple of seasons, but we definitely will have an extended pregame ceremony live inside Banks High School as we want to recognize those affected by breast cancer and the lives lost with a moment of silence. Other athletics around Banks High School, the Braves volleyball team, or Braves girls soccer team with an 11-0 blowout win over LaSalle here at home last night. Football at Kennedy. Banks Braves ranked 7th in the state, headed to Mount Angel tomorrow night to take on the top-ranked Trojans in what will likely decide 3A District 1 football. Banks and Kennedy will be likely be the top 2 teams, with Warrenton, Valley Catholic, and Yamhill-Carlton battling for the 3rd and final guaranteed playoff spot. And the other 2 teams who do not finish 3rd could likely battle for an at-large position. Right now, the at-large playoff team for 3A football is Yamhill-Carlton. Apologize if you may hear us coughing during our broadcast. I've had some issues with illness over the last 2 weeks. I want to thank all of our sponsors: Jason Bond Remodeling, Jim's Market, Sarah Hesselman, Premier Property Group, Legacy Roofing, Banks Post Newspaper, Christy Van Meter at Union Home Mortgage, LaHaye's Custom Embroidery, Main Street Pizza, Scoggins Creek Coffee of Gaston and Yamhill-Carlton, Specialty Screen Printing of Yamhill, GorgeNet, Internet Service Provider serving Vernonia and the Timber area, Wana Credit Union in likeness of you, Westside Mobile Media, that's us, and Oregon National Guard. Getting you the uniform combinations. Yamhill-Carlton will be wearing black uniforms, orange Tigers lettering across the chest, orange numerals with white trim. Tigers on the back between the shoulder blade, and in orange with orange numerals on the back, white trim. Also orange and white represented on the uniforms. The Braves will be wearing white home uniforms, navy blue numerals, navy blue Banks lettering on the bottom of the numerals about lower back, across left to right, with navy blue shorts, except for the libero, who tonight will be Kendall Shook. listed as a sophomore defensive specialist. We're going to go ahead and take a short intermission now, as it's about 30 seconds before before start of tonight's introductions. We'll be back with the first serve in just a moment. And we're just about set for the first serve between the Banks Braves, the home team, and the visiting Yamhill-Carlton Tigers. Banks High School located about 25 miles northwest of Portland, up towards the end of U.S. Highway 26. Yamhill-Carlton located about halfway between Forest Grove and McMinnville, Oregon, if you're listening from out of the area. Banks will be to our right on the west end of the court. Yamhill-Carlton to our left on the east end of the court. We're high above the visitors section, which will be the near side. On the north side of Banks High School. Again, pink out. Pink out night for breast cancer awareness. Being recognized, first serve from the Tigers, number 15, Cecilia Petratus. Shook to Janasek, far back corner, returned by Maller. And too much that time from on the kill from the angle near side from Adele Petratus, and Yamhill-Carlton with the first point. Just underway at Banks High School. Coastal Range League number 4, Yamhill-Carlton at Banks, Coastal Range League number 4. And returned just wide off the attempt from Lauren Jansen. Tigers with the first 2 points, leading 2-0 to start the match. Again, the serve from Cecilia Petratus. Long, but picked up by Janasek. Shook tries to track it down. Janasek from near the back wall. Beyond the baseline, basketball baseline, comes up well short on the third attempt. Tigers trailing 3-0. Petratus serve, Janasek to McCraw, returned by the Braves. I believe it was Jansen. Petratus sets it across the net, near side. Coming to get it is McCraw, sets it up for Jansen. Dug out far back corner by Dakota King. Returned by Adele Petratus, blocked, and late communication. King misplays it, and Shook dives to the floor, unable to track it down. 4-0 Tigers. Again, the serve from Petratus low and is wide that time in front of the student section. Tried to angle it to the far back corner. First point of the match for the Braves, trailing 4-1. First serve of the match for the Braves is Morgan McCraw, and that comes up well short into the net, side out back to the Tigers with a 5-1 lead in the opening set. Now serving out of the rotation is Natalie Frey for the Tigers. Maller returns it off the first hit, and Braves expecting a kill after she lobbed it across the net on the first hit, but Ollie Matson dumps it over the net with net contact, and the Braves playing too far off, trailing 6-1 now, as that time the serve from Natalie Frey is well short into the top of the net. 6-2, side out back to the Braves. Again, Lauren Jansen. Actually, not again. It's Lauren Jansen serving now. Last time it was Morgan McCraw. Braves with the point, back-to-back now, trailing 6-3. The serve from Jansen is dug out by the Tigers. Petratus to Petratus on the point for the Tigers. Cecilia to Adele on the return, and the Braves playing off again. Can't get there in time. 7-3 after a short-lived side out of 2 points for the Braves. Serving Kelsey King for the Tigers. Shook for the Braves. Gets it back on the return. Late, Adele Petratus Gets it across for YC, coming up to the net, pushing it into down the far side as Maller. Blocked by Maller in the face of Ollie Matson. Side out back to the Braves, trailing 7-4. Coming in for the Tigers, number 12, Rhea Wolf. Marissa Herbert will come in to serve for the Braves. Just left center of the key, steps up to the line and well short. Usually a much better server than that. Side out back to the Tigers with an 8-4 lead, and Adele Petreitis serving for Yamhill-Carlton just inside the left low block. Short serve, and it's misplayed by McCraw. Right, Jansen went off her nose, and it's 9-4 Tigers. Banks in so many of their losses this year, just communication and self-inflicted issues. Braves come up with the return. Wolf diving to the floor, hits it near her own bench, but Tigers able to pull it back and get it back across. McCraw sets up King. Nice effort though, blocked. Battle at the net, this time too much from Dakota King on the return, 9-5. Side out back to the Braves. Mackenzie Donnelly will enter the match for the Braves. Mackenzie King to serve from outside the key, left side. Down the far side, Cecilia Petreitis gets it back. Maller. King tries to keep it alive, goes into the bench, but is unable to pull it back. 10-5 Tigers. Serve from Ollie Matson, dug out by Janicek. King sets it up for Evie now in the match. It's played by Matson, but Wolf pulls it back, returned by the Tigers. King, far side, sets up Evie. Dug out by the Tigers. Far side returned by Natalie Frey, popped up by Maller. Hung on the top of the net for a split second, but wouldn't have it, and YC was there ready for it anyway. 11-5, Tigers with a 6-point lead. Again, the serve from Matson. Maller misplays it. Janicek tracks it down, returned by Donnelly near side. Wolf, Adele Petreitis returned by the Tigers. King near side sets up Janicek into the net. 12-5 Braves, and I thought we might see one coming soon. Timeout Banks. Banks has won their last 2 matches, but against bottom feeders in the Coastal Range League Volleyball District over Neocony and Riverdale. A much tougher team tonight here at home, and they're trailing 12-5 early. We'll be back in 30 seconds after this. From Sarah Hesselman.
Same great smile, same great service, but a brand new location and a great new team. Sarah Hesselman Group is still proud to support Banks High School athletics, but has now joined the Premier Property Group real estate team with new offices located in Bethany. If you're thinking about buying or selling a home, contact the Sarah Hesselman Group, Sarah at sarahhesselman.com, or call 503-313-0748.
And we're back, 12-5. Tigers with a 7-point lead, and the return from Evie, too long, 13-5 Tigers. And Yamhill-Carlton with all the momentum in this opening set. Returned by Evie off the serve from Matson of the Tigers. Spun off the side of the hand, but YC able to get it across. Nice play off the floor between Frey and Dakota King, but Ollie Matson can't track it down, and that will finally end the run for YC. Braves trailing 13-6, and Janicek will serve from just inside the left low block. Good serve picked up by Wolf out of the back row for the Tigers. Near side, Dakota King gets through the block of Evie and Jansen. 14-6, short side out for the Braves. And Dakota King to serve. And the serve from Dakota King, dug out by Maller, and it's going to go into the student section. 15-6, Tigers looking to go up 10 midway through the first set. And right now, the Tigers looking like a top 10 team against Banks, but they're not saying they're not, but they're definitely a playoff team, but Banks is making YC look a lot better than they are. Cecilia Petratus, and communication issues that time along the front row of the Tigers as they watch the ball hit the floor and do not attempt a return on the third hit. 15-7 back to the Braves. Kendall Shook serving in the navy blue libero shirt. As Cecilia Petratus over the top, Braves ready for it. King, Shook slaps it hard into the back row. Far side, returned by Natalie Frey for the Tigers. Shook out of the back row to Janicek. Back across the net to Matson for the Tigers. Cecilia Petratus off the block. Shook. King comes to get it, center of the front row. We're going to get a hitting error on the Braves. Side out back to the Tigers, and a 16-7 lead. Cecilia Petratus, her serve straddling the left side of the key below the block. King sets up Janicek near side out of the back row. Popped up by Natalie Frey, gets it back on the return. King sets it up for Maller, blocked, and we're going to get a hitting error on Jordan Maller. 17-7, Tigers with a 10-point lead. Again, Cecilia Petratus. A lot of power, and it's an ace right in front of Lauren Jansen. Kendall Shook also there. 18-7, ace in the far back corner, and the Tigers now with an 11-point lead. Serve is misplayed by Jansen. 19-7, Tigers. And we're going to get a sub off the bench. Ava Bogroff will replace Lauren Jansen. Again, the serve from Cecilia Petratus, low, and another ace, Bogroff and Shook. Bogroff coming in to play the position of Jansen, and new players, same result. Didn't make a difference. 20-7, Tigers. Cecilia Petratus has found a weak link in the almost said the Blazers, in the Braves defense. Sad news out of the NFL as Dick Butkus, who we learned about 4 o'clock this afternoon, has passed away. Chicago Bears great. This time, Shook gets to it and returned by Donnelly, but long. Dakota King went after it, but it's ruled no touch, so the serve will stay with the Tigers in a 21-7 lead. Cecilia Petratus, low serve. Shook. That one goes a couple rows deep and kicked back into play by a fan a couple rows below us. 22-7. Again, Petratus, Cecilia Petratus the serve. This time Shook to King near side. Janicek out of the back row. Across the net to Cecilia. Tracking it down as Adele Petratus, this time long off the return from Dakota King. 22-8. Tigers still dominating late in the first set. Coming into serve, number 12, Morgan McCraw. Also Jansen back in, replacing Bogroff. Serve from McCraw. Far side, misplayed by Adele Petratus. Should let that one go. It's going to go into the fans on the home side across the way, 22-9. The serve from McCraw. Far back corner this time. Adele Petradis plays it cleanly, gets it back, block, and it's going to go long. Graves will be unable to keep it in play, 23-9. And Tigers about to claim the first set in dominating fashion. Natalie Frey dug out by Shook off the serve from the Tigers. Returned by Janicek far side. Frey to Adele Petradis. Partially blocked. Braves keep it alive. Returned by Mallard. Far back corner. Adele Petradis. This time returned wide from the far side by number 5 Peyton Gregor, 23-10. Braves make it to double digits, but still a long ways to go to get back in this first set with only 2 points left to a first set victory for the Tigers. Return, Shook. McCraw, Janicek. And right, perfect kill shot right down the far back line, almost perfectly square with the far back corner on the far right corner, 23-11. Again, the serve from Jansen. Back row played by the Tigers. Cecilia Petradis sets it up for Adele. I think Mallarmé got a touch on it, apparently not, as that would have been the 4th hit by Janicek, but no whistle blown by the officials. The return from YC, diving to keep it alive. Down the near back corner is Jansen, but the point goes to the Tigers. Side out and match, or set point, 24-11 in the opening set. The serve from Kelsey King, misplayed. Shook able to track it down near the back wall. Mallard gets it across for the point. Frey nearly able to sandwich underneath it was Adele Petradis, but came up just short, 24-12. Coming into serve, Marissa Herbert. Momentary officials timeout to make sure everything is keen with the scores table. And that one's going to come up well short. The opening set will go to the Tigers, and now a 25-12 opening set victory for YC. We'll take a 2-minute break and be back with the second set. Tigers up 1-0, 25-12. We'll take a 2-minute break and be back with the second set after this.
Legacy Roofing can save your home from leaks, mold, and other issues related to an older roof, preventing future roof issues, saving you thousands of dollars. They use only the most trusted materials backed by an excellent warranty that is transferred if you ever sell your home. Legacy is tops in their field, earning the GAF Master Elite certification and the Golden Pledge warranty. For more information or to get a free quote, call 503-357-7663 today. Banks Post newspaper is the official news provider of West Side's greatest hits. Listen hourly for West Side news from the Banks Post newsroom. Banks Post newspaper covers Banks, Manning, Buxton, Roy, and surrounding western Washington County communities. If you'd like more information on the Banks Post or want to pick up a copy, visit a local business today. You can also visit their website at bankspost.com or their Facebook page, Banks Post. Your local lender, Christy Van Meter at Union Home Mortgage, is here to walk you through every step in purchasing your new home. Christy and her team bring trusted knowledge and years of experience to make your home loan financing process an enjoyable one. If you're in the business or have questions about purchasing or refinancing your home, call Christy Van Meter at Union Home Mortgage, 503-327-5302, or visit uhm.com/kvanmeter. Union Home Mortgage, official sponsor of the PBR. Union Home Mortgage promises cap. Christy Van Meter is licensed in Oregon 1700271, Washington MLO-17002. 10271, and Arizona 1039867. Union Home Mortgage is an equal housing lender, NMLS number 2229.
Proudly serving our neighbors in Washington County since 1946, LaHaye's is your destination for locally made Letterman's jackets, custom embroidery for business apparel or a unique gift, and scouting uniforms and supplies. LaHaye's is on the corner of 3rd and Main in historic downtown Hillsboro. Open Wednesday through Friday, 10 to 6, Saturday, 10 to 4, and anytime online at lahayes.com or call us at 503-648-2341.
And we're back for the second set. Yamhill-Carlton with a 1-0 25-12 lead. Banks again looking way overmatched. Start of the second set, and working on a issue with Yamhill-Carlton's bench, wanting to recognize a fan, looks like either a parent or possibly grandparent that is wheelchair bound, wanting her to trying to see if it's kosher to allow her to be part of the bench. And they're going to move her into the corner now by the northeast entrance to the gym. Yamhill-Carlton got the opening serve to start the match, so first person in the service rotation for Banks is Lauren Jansen. Her attempt is an ace off the top right corner of the net, opposite from us. Braves with the first point of the second set. And Braves player came from water fountain to the bench, and it's another ace for Lauren Jansen. Braves with a 2-0 lead. Tigers got their hands on it, but hit it into the bottom of the net. Jansen this time picked up cleanly by Dakota King. And Cecilia Petraitis short into the net. 3-0 Braves. Again, the serve from Jansen. Cecilia Petraitis high into the air as she pivots to get to it. Returned by Maller, and the kill shot would have gone long, but Dakota King tried to play it, and it's 4-0 Braves. 4-0 in the second set, trailing 1-0, 25-12. And Jansen skips one off the top of the net again. 5-1, and that will get head coach Jess McGraw up off the bench. Jansen has served for the first 5 points of the second set. This time, Adele Petraitis with the point as it skips past Bogroff. I think she got a hand on it, but it's going to go back to the Tigers with the side out, trailing 5-1. serve from Cecilia Petradis is returned by King. Dug off the floor by Dakota King for YC. Not sure if there's any relation. Jansen out of the far back corner, misplays it, and it's going to go into the almost against the wall in the southeast corner, or southwest corner of the gym. 5-2. Back-to-back points for the Tigers, and the serve from Cecilia Petradis. That time comes up short. 6-2 Braves. Side out to Lauren Jansen. Short jump serve is an ace off Adele Petradis. 7-2 Braves. Serve from Jansen. She got a touch. It's long. 8-2. Still no timeout coming from the Tigers. This time Dakota King. Cecilia Petradis block. Mackenzie King pulls it back off the block for the Braves. McCraw returned by Maller, and far back corner diving to the floor. Dakota King throws her hands up, wanting to know why there wasn't somebody coming over there to help her out. 9-2, Braves in control so far in the second set. The serve from Jansen, misplayed by Dakota King. And nice job to angle it from the bleachers far side and get it across by the Tigers. Janisek's return is set back across by YC. Mackenzie King down the far side, played by Matson for the Tigers. And the return attempt that time from Adele Petradis, long into the far back corner, and as we expected, timeout YC. Banks trailing 1-0, but up 10-2, dominating the second set. We'll take a 30-second break and return in just a moment.
Visit Main Street Pizza in Banks, located next to Jim's Market, for the best pizza in Washington County. From loaded hot baked subs to a Main Street special pizza piled high, we will satisfy your pizza cravings. We've been serving and supporting the Banks community since 1986. Open daily at 11 a.m. Call ahead now to place your order at 503-324-5858 or follow us on Facebook to see our daily lunch specials. Mention this radio ad and receive $2 off any Main Street pizza.
And we're back 10-2 Banks in the second set following YC's timeout. They tried to last as long as they could before trying to pull out of this Banks run, but Banks doing a much better job in the second set. Blocked, but out of bounds. Far side, Maller and Mackenzie King. 10-3, side out back to the Tigers. Jansen will come out. Kendall Shook will come in for defensive purposes. The Braves libero. Jump serve from Natalie Frey for the Tigers. And she must not have got underneath it in time. Incredible effort from Jocelyn Janisek. I thought she got underneath it, but as the Braves return it, it's called a hitting error. 10-4, back-to-back points for YC. The serve from Adele Petradis on the run. Janisek, the King far side. Maller, way too many meaties this morning. A good 2 or 3 feet long at least. And 10-5. Again, it's another opponent starting to make a run off of unforced errors. The serve from Petradis, that time Adele's serve is well short, only comes up to about the center of the net. 11-5, Braves in the second set. Evie will come in. Bogroff goes out. Maller also out for the Braves. The serve from Kylie McCraw is dumped over the top by Matson, far side for the Tigers. Coming to get it, Janisek sets it across the net. Petratus into the far back corner, right in front of the student section. Nice play to catch the Braves defense off guard. 11-6, side out back to the Tigers. Maller will come back in, replacing McCraw. Real Wolf to serve from just inside the right low block. Shook plays it late, probably should have let that one go. Janicek tracks it down. Nice job by Maller to return it far back corner in front of the student section. Dug out by Shook, and Maller, first person to go after it. McCraw beat her out, but still came up short, 11-7 from the corner of the bleachers right next to the student section. Again, a serve from Wolf, low, dug off the floor by Janicek. McCraw returned by Shook. Adele Petratus to Cecilia. Returned by the Tigers and nearly colliding with the pole. Nice effort from Morgan McCraw. But 3 straight now from the Tigers to pull within 3 at 11-8. For 8-11, the serve from Wolf. From the left side this time, Janicek to McCraw, back to Janicek. Adele to Cecilia Petratus, off the block. Maller, McCraw, near side to Janicek. Cecilia Petratus plays it and slaps it into her own bench. 12-8, side out back to the Braves. McCraw comes out. Mackenzie King from just above the left low block. Just outside the key. Short tried to finesse it across the net. And too much finesse that time, side out back to the Tigers. Back within 3, trailing 9-12. Serve from Adele Petratus. Mallard to King. Out of the front row, Evie. Pulled back off the back row by Frey. And we're going to get a hitting error on the Tigers. I think a double hit. 13-9. Braves back to a 4-point lead. And Janicek to serve from a step inside. Left side of the key. And lobbed across the net off the return from Peyton Gregor, and the Braves slam it back down their throat into the back row. 14-9, Braves with a 5-point lead. King to Donnelly, returned by Janicek off. Skips off the top of the net, returned near side by Matson out of the front row. Coming up to the net, coming up short is Jansen. 14-10, side out back to the Tigers. Jump serve from Matson for YC. Janicek far back corner. King comes to get it for the Braves. Maller would have went long, but Wolf played it, and it goes into the back wall behind the Tigers on the east end. 15-10 Braves. Serve from Bogroff. Dumped over far side by Adele Petratus. Maller to Jansen. Wolf out of the back row for YC. Adele on the return. Misplayed a little bit by Janicek, but King comes to get it. Maller back across the net for the Braves. Adele Petratus sets it for Gregor, dumps it across. King pulls it back off the net for the Braves. Returned by Banks. Adele Petratus to Matson out of the back row. Bogroff dives to the floor. And YC thought they had an easy lob, and instead they pin it to the net and come up short on the return, 16-10. Bogroff serve from the left side of the key that time. Well short, 16-11, but Much better performance from the Braves in the second set with a 16-11 lead. Jump serve from Dakota King for the Tigers, and Bogroff tried to play it and got a touch. It would have went long. 16-12. Shook will come in for Bogroff. YC with a 1-0 lead, 25-12, but Banks with a 16-12 lead in the second, and is played by Kendall Shook. Janicek tries to track it down in the far wall to the west, off to our right, and runs out of room, 16-13. Again, that time, well, not again, but that time Dakota King comes up short. 17-13 on the service error, side out back to the Braves. Donnelly will come out. McCraw will enter the match to serve. Halfway between the block and the baseline. Her serve played late by Dakota King. And Adele Petratus faked out Jordan Maller, I think, into thinking it was going to go short. She waved at it as it came across the net and came up empty, 17-14. And Cecilia Petratus, her serve to Shook. Over the far back row, returned by McKenna King for the Braves. I think I called her Mackenzie a couple of times earlier. And coming up short is Jansen. Tigers as close as they've been pretty much the entire second set. Now within two at 17-15. Cecilia Petratus serve, Shook out of the back row. McCraw, King sets it high across the net. Cecilia Petratus dumps it over far near side behind her to Adele. Nice job by the Braves to keep it alive, but McKenna King's return from the far side is wide, 17-16, and a good timeout for the Braves as YC with all the momentum and is now battled back within one. Yamhill-Carlton with a 1-0 lead, now within one, 17-16 in the second set. We'll take a 30-second break and return after this from Scoggins Creek Coffee. Whether it's a steaming hot old-fashioned cup of joe or hot chocolate on a cold winter day, or an ice-cold Italian soda or iced coffee on a hot summer day, any time is a great time to stop by Scoggins Creek Coffee. With 2 locations in Gaston and Yamhill-Carlton, their warm and friendly baristas will get you the delicious drink of your choice. Scoggins Creek Coffee, call 503-985-3483, 503-985-3483. And we're back, 17-16. Banks clinging to a 1-point lead, and now it has evaporated as Shook plays it into the bottom of the net. Braves unable to pull it back. Tied at 17 in the second set. The serve from Petratus. Maller sets it into the center of the net. 18-17 Tigers. Banks had a 10-2 lead earlier in this set. King this time off the block, and a big side out for the Braves to tie it at 18 and get the side out back. As we're nearing the latter stages of the second set, Jansen steps up to the block now, makes contact at the service line. King for the Tigers. Adele Petratus returned by Dakota King for YC, and it's misplayed by the Braves and unable to track it down. Tigers regain the lead 19-18. Natalie Frey jump serve. Shook. McCraw, Janicek into the back row. Dakota King to Cecilia Petreitis. Sets up Adele, block. Adele on the return. Caught the Braves off guard. Shook dives, can't get there. 20-18 YC. Jump serve from Natalie Frey, dug out by Janicek. McCraw. Shook on the return. Kelsey King. Tigers get it across. McCraw to Janicek, comes up short. Into the top of the net, 21-18. YC on a 19-8 run since Banks had an 10-2 lead. Janicek dives to the floor, gets it across, tracked down by Matson. Adele Petreitis from just outside the near side line. And tried to set it. Jansen misplays it, gets the ball tangled up in her fingers and can't do anything with it. And we have another timeout Banks. YC now with all the momentum and control late in the second set with a 22-18 lead. We'll take another 30-second break and return in just a moment.
Specialty Screen Printing in Yamhill offers your business the creativity and expertise to print your logo on a variety of items. Owners Ken and Linda Johnson have 40 years of experience on industrial parts and every type of material, including ceramic tile. Their fast service can have your project done in less than a week. Visit their website, specialtyscreenprinting.com, to see for yourself how they can help you boost your company's marketing and industrial screen printing needs. Call 971-998-9274 or visit their website, specialtyscreenprinting.com.
And we're back 22-18. Tigers now with a 4-point lead after trailing 10-2 earlier in the second set. Jump serve from Natalie Frey is played by Shook. Again, should have let that one go. And 23-18. Tigers 2 points away from going at 2-0. Serve from Frey, Bogroff to King. Returned by the Braves. Cecilia Petreitis dumps it over. Maller is ready for it. Tigers back across the net. McCraw back sets to King. Dug out off her return and returned by Petreitis. McCraw into the corner of the bleachers near the student section. And it's match set point for the Tigers, up 24-18 in the second. Serve from Natalie Frey. Bogroff off the floor, 7-7 off the serve. Blocked and unable to keep it in play. Lauren Jansen gets a hand on it, trying to dive to the floor, 25-18. Tigers in the second set after Banks had a 10-2 lead. Tigers close on a 23-8 run. We'll take another 2-minute break and see if Banks can extend it to a fourth set, or see if the Tigers will complete the sweep when we return after this 2-minute break. This is Banks Braves Volleyball on Westside Mobile Media, presented by Jason Bond Remodeling.
There's a new premier fiber internet provider in Vernonia featuring friendly and helpful customer service. Sign up with Gorge Networks today for symmetrical speed fiber internet, 300 meg or 1 gig speeds with managed Wi-Fi included in the low monthly price. No contracts or price increases. Refer a friend and get a free month of service. Make the switch to Gorge Networks today. Call 541-436-0223. You can also email us at sales@gorge.net.
At Wanna Credit Union, every individual is unique, with different needs. different wants, and different goals. This is who we are. And we live here. Our families live here. Our friends live here. This is our home. Because to us, you're not a number. You're an individual. Wana Credit Union. Individuals welcome.
In Likeness of You offers caricatures, face painting, temporary tattoos, indoor and outdoor games, arcade games, and even costume hero birthday events. Since 2013, they've even held corporate events for some of the biggest companies in the world. For more information or to book your next party, go to inlikenessofyou.com, thebash.com, or call 503-858-0164. That's 503-858-0164.
Westside Mobile Media is home to Westside's greatest hits. Great top 40 hits from the 70s to today with artists like the Bee Gees, Madonna, Billy Joel, Cyndi Lauper, Whitney Houston, Elton John, NSYNC, Jennifer Lopez, Imagine Dragons, Adele, and more. Local news, sports, and weather updates for Portland's Westside and live broadcasts of Banks High School athletics. Check us out at westsidesgreatesthits.com for advertising opportunities. Email westsidemobilemedia@gmail.com or call 971-330-8122. And we're back getting set for the third set. Banks with a 10-2 lead in the second set and still fell 25-18. Braves now down 2-0, 25-12, 25-18. Just the last two seasons have had issues putting teams away. You get large leads and allow teams to come back almost like they're afraid to win by too big a margin, and then in the process allow the other team to get momentum and come back and steal matches. Banks was a playoff team last year, coming up just short at Santiam Christian, falling in 5 sets, 1 round shy of the quarterfinals. Serve from Cecilia Petratus to start the third set for the Tigers, and Janicek and McKenna King have issues with clean hits. And the Tigers with the first point to start the third set. Again, Cecilia Petratus, this time Janicek far back corner. McCraw, Mauer on the return. Cecilia Petratus near side, gets it back from Adele. Blocked by Mauer for the point, and we're tied at 1 in the third. Side out back to the Braves and Lauren Jansen. Her serve is played by Dakota King. Cecilia Petratus to Adele. Mauer, and dumped over by Mauer and Jansen near side, and Tigers able to get a finger on it, but can't do much more than that. Banks with a 2-1 lead in the third set. Serve from Jansen. Petratus pulls it back off the net and is going to get called for a lift. 3-1 Braves. No lead, though, is too safe for the Braves. As we mentioned, they had a 10-2 lead in the second set and still lost 25-18. Janicek, or McCraw, who serve Cecilia Petratus. This time blocked off the kill attempt from Kelsey King. It's Jordan Mauer. Braves a 4-1 lead in the third. McCraw tiptoes the right side of the key with her right foot, and her serve attempt is clean, and Tigers hit it into the far side net pole. Nice job by the far side front row. Mauer and Jansen, 5-1 Braves. McCraw misplayed by Frey, and Braves now with a 6-1 lead as it's going to go underneath the net. Timeout YC. Banks with momentum early in the third, but they were up 10-2 in the second set and found a way to lose it. Can they at least send it to a fourth set? We'll find out and return to action after this 30-second break from Jason Bond Remodeling.
Want to give your kitchen or bath a fresh new look? Jason Bond Remodeling has over 20 years experience fabricating and installing stone countertops and can upgrade your home with the countertops of your dreams without the dreamy price tag. They pride themselves on quality and customer satisfaction. They also offer cabinet installation and will do their best to beat any bid by 10%. Based in Washington County and will service most Portland area locations. For quality kitchen and bath remodels, call Jason Bond Remodeling at 503-430-0145.
And we're back. Banks trailing 2-0, 25-12, 25-18. Following the Tigers timeout, Banks a 6-1 lead in the third, but Banks had a 10-2 lead in the second set and found a way to lose that set as well. Serve from McCraw. King out of the back row for the Tigers. Dakota King. McCraw to McKenna King for the Braves. Diving to the floor. Bogrov near back corner. Janicek to Jansen on the return. Cecilia Petratus back sets to Adele. Diving to the floor. Nice job by Bogrov for the point. Officials were about to call the point, and instead it's Bogrov keeping the streak alive with a 7-1 lead with an incredible play off the floor. The Valley this time. Maller misplayed by either Adele or Cecilia Petratus. It's an 8-1 advantage for the Braves. Again, McCraw, short serve, almost skips off the top of the net. Looked like it bounced off the face of Kelsey King, but played by the Tigers. Braves get it back across the net. Mallard pulls it off the net. McCraw, and coming up short is Jansen. 8-2 again. Cannot let YC or any other opponent get momentum with large leads like this, because once you give them a crack, soon it becomes a floodgate. And before you know it, all momentum is lost. And there's another misplay by Jansen, 8-3. Again, Natalie Frey to serve for the Tigers. Runs up to the service line. Maller to McCraw. King pushes it across the net. And Maller this time gets the momentum back in a side out, finding a hole off the lob from the Tigers' return, 9-3. Lauren Jansen to serve. Low. Played by Matson, returned by Frey out of the back row. McCraw pulls it back from the student section, gets it back from Jansen. And Maller, a couple of Tigers tap it, but do wind up coming up with the return. Janicek pushes it down the near side into the back row. Diving is Dakota King, 10-3. Banks with a similar lead second set, but still lost the second. Banks now up 11-3 as we look down momentarily to fix a scoreboard issue. Now it's 11-3. Can the Braves sustain the momentum? King, Dakota King for the Tigers. Matson played, returned by Cecilia Petratus. McKenna King for the Braves. Mallard dumps it over. Matson. A couple of players come to get it for the Tigers, returned by Adele Petratus. McCraw to Janicek near side, just wide in front of the Tigers bench. 11-4. Side out back to the Tigers. Serve from Kelsey King. Janasek misplays it. Bogroff. Shook out from beyond the back line, but it's going to be wide. Nice effort by Kendall Shook, but just even to get it across the net from near the back wall. Back-to-back points again for the Tigers within 6, 11-5. Then the serve from Kelsey King for YC. An ace as it goes between Shook and Bogroff. 11-6. Kings thrice in this match. Dakota King and Kelsey King for the Tigers. McKenna King for the Braves. Kelsey King serve. Bogroff pops it back, but kept alive by Janasek. Bogroff across the net out of the back row. Dakota King gets it back from Petratus, and it's going to be long. Side out back to the Braves, leading 12-6. Herbert waiting for the substitution as Evie comes in for Bogroff. Kelsey King comes out for the Tigers. Herbert's serve is played by Adele Petratus, but Cecilia tracks it down. Blocked by the Braves' far side. Herbert to McCraw. Sets up King, past the diving effort from Wolf. Goes to an E and not quick enough to get there. 13-6 Braves in the third set. Herbert, one of the Braves' best servers from the center of the key low. Wolf plays it out of the back row. Matson dumped over by Evie. Dakota King for the Tigers. Adele Petratus from Cecilia, and that's going to go into the upper back corner of the student section. 13-7, side out back to YC. Cecilia Petratus out, Adele Petratus to serve. Maller comes in for Herbert. Serve from Adele Petratus is low. Janasek goes to a knee in front. Gets it back from McCraw. Matson back to Adele on the return. Shook again, should have let that one go. Nice job by McCraw to track it down. And the Braves come up with an incredible return. Matson and Maller this time stole one from Kendall Shook, diving to the floor, and he plays it behind the service line. 13-8. Serve from Adele Petratus again. Shook to McCraw. Janasek near side, popped up by Gregor for the Tigers, and either Shook or King, I think, just got underneath it but tripped over each other trying to get to the ball, and Braves unable to get to it after that. The serve from Adele Petratus again. Janasek to McCraw, back to Janasek near side, off the tip, played by the Tigers, returned by Gregor, I believe, far side of the front row. McCraw, Evie around the block for the kill. 13-9, or 14-9 Braves. Donnelly will come in for McCraw. McKenna King will serve. R2, Carl Mosley taking a moment to keep track of the substitution with the scores table. The serve skips off the top of the net. Shook able to dig it out and come up with the return. Donnelly far side to Evie. Into the back row, too long. 14-10, side out back to the Tigers. Jump serve from Matson far side. Maller. Nice job by King to track it down. Dumped over by Evie. Oh, but they're going to get a hitting error on YC on a lift. Jess McGraw shakes her head and looks at the far side official and says no, that was not, but the point belongs to the Braves and a 15-10 lead. Janasek serve just inside the left side of the key. Adele Petratus, it's actually Natalie Frey. And she comes up with the kill far side of the Tigers front row, 15-11. Serve from Dakota King. Back row Mallard pops it behind her to Janasek. Peavy misplays it wide. Jansen in the area and no communication. Nobody called it. I think she was a little bit worried about Jansen hanging around behind her, and it's 15-12. Again, Tigers within 3. Dakota King from just inside the right side of the key. Mallard to King far side. Donnelly on the return. Adele Petratus to Matson. Return by Frey. Diving effort as Janasek comes up short. And it goes into the near back corner, 15-13. Tigers again making a run midway through the third after Banks had an 11-3 lead. And we have a timeout called by the Braves just as Dakota King gets ready for her serve. Yamhill-Carlton up 25-12, 25-18, 2-0, trailing 15-13 in the third. The Banks had an 11-2 lead earlier in this set. We'll take a 30-second break and be back after this from the Oregon Army National Guard.
The Army National Guard plays a vital role in your community. We're on the front lines supporting essential personnel, first responders, law enforcement, and medical professionals, delivering food, supplies, and medicine, keeping communities safe, making a difference. During emergencies, we're always ready, always there. Learn more about part-time service in the Army National Guard at nationalguard.com.
Sponsored by the Oregon Army National Guard, aired by the Oregon Association of Broadcasters and this station.
And we're back following the timeout from the Braves. YC on an 11-4 run to pull within 2 at 15-13. Serve from Dakota King is wisely let go that time as Mallard and Janasek both scream out. It's been one of the biggest issues for the Braves the last 2 years is communication. Otherwise, they would definitely be in contention for a league title. 16-13, still just a 3-point lead though. Bogroff, her serve is going to come up short off the return from Matson. Back to a 4-point lead at 17-13 in the third, but trailing 2-0. Bogroff serve back row, near side. Tigers come to track it down, but they're going to come up short at the net. 18-13. 3 straight for the Braves after their timeout when the Tigers had pulled within 2. Bogroff. Back row to Dakota King. Back center, Adele Petratus to Gregor on the return. Bogroff pulls it back, returned by Donnelly, far back corner near the service line. And coming up short, it's Kelsey King. 19-13 Braves, and we're gonna have a timeout YC. Banks with all the momentum back now after 4 in a row following their timeout. And trailing 2-0. Banks looking to extend it to a 4th, up 19-13 in the third. We'll take a 30-second break and return after this from Jim's Market.
Jim's Market in Banks is an institution serving the community for generations. They're actively involved in events and athletics from the youth league to high school level. Let them serve you with their locally grown fresh produce, fresh bakery items, including custom cakes, and quick hot food from their in-store deli. Jim's Market, conveniently located at the south entrance to Banks.
And we're back following the Braves timeout. Football tomorrow night at Kennedy. Likely the game of the year in regular season. Most likely will be for the 3A District 1 title. Banks still has to go to Warrenton at the end of the season. Warrenton's only league loss was to Kennedy as we resume to third set action. And coming up with the return is Gregor for the Tigers. McKenna King led Mallard too far at the net, 19-14. And guess who? Best server for the Tigers, Cecilia Petradis, will try to lead them back as they hope for a 3-set sweep. Serve is an ace. Right in front of the back line, 19-15. Cecilia Petradis again, this time Janicek goes low. King, Mallard blocked. Cecilia Petradis returned by Adele, blocked, and it goes across the far side. Mallard came opposite side to the near side to help Jansen, and it's 19-16. Serve from Cecilia Petradis is long, and Bogroff looks at one of her teammates and says, oh my gosh, we actually let one go like we should have, and Braves now back to a 4-point lead, 20-16. Able to, hoping to get momentum back late in the third set and at least steal a set victory and send it to the fourth. McCraw, her serve, Cecilia Petradis far side, coming up short is Adele Petradis into the net, slams the ball to the ground, or to the floor. 21-16 Braves in the third. McCraw well short. Barely makes it to the center of the net, 21-17. Natalie Frey, running jump serve from in front of the baseline. Bogroff plays it off the heels of her wrist and into the floor, 21-18. Again, Frey's jump serve. Mallard, McCraw to McKenna King, able to come up with the return. Cecilia Petradis. Mallard gets just enough on it to come up with the return block. Battle at the net. Cecilia Petradis let it go. It's calling for a Banks hitting error. She's not going to get it. It's 22-18. After she let it go, the serve from Jansen this time, returned by the Tigers. I believe it's number 1, Dakota King. Can't see the number with the long hair. Bogroff to McCraw. Mallard dumps it over in front of 3 Tigers that formed a circle trying to protect the return. 23-18. Now the student section comes alive. Jansen steps to the line, low serve. Dakota King misplays it wide off the net stick to the near side. Set point for the Braves, up 24-18 in the third. Serve from Jansen. Far side, dug out by Matson. Cecilia Petradis back to Matson, far side. Jansen to King. Mallard dumps it over. Dakota King Adele Petradis misplays it. Dakota King can't get there. Braves win the third set, 25-18, to send it to a fourth. Going to get some extra spots in for our sponsors. We'll be back after this 30-second break from Sarah Hesselman, Premier Property Group.
Same great smile, same great service, but a brand new location and a great new team. Sarah Hesselman Group is still proud to support Banks High School athletics, but has now joined the Premier Property Group real estate team with new offices located in Bethany. If you're thinking about buying or selling a home, contact the Sarah Hesselman Group, Sarah at sarahhesselman.com, or call 503-313-0748.
Legacy Roofing can save your home from leaks, mold, and other issues related to an older roof, preventing future roof issues, saving you thousands of dollars. They use only the most trusted materials backed by an excellent warranty that is transferred if you ever sell your home. Legacy is tops in their field, earning the GAF Master Elite certification and the Golden Pledge warranty. For more information or to get a free quote, call 503-357-7663 today. Banks Post newspaper is the official news provider of West Side's greatest hits. Listen hourly for West Side news from the Banks Post newsroom. Banks Post newspaper covers Banks, Manning, Buxton, Roy, and surrounding western Washington County communities. If you'd like more information on the Banks Post or want to pick up a copy, visit a local business today. You can also visit their website at bankspost.com or their Facebook page, Banks Post. And we're back as we get ready to start the fourth set. Banks sent it to a fourth set with a 25-18 victory in the third. Tigers still with a 2-1 lead. Morgan McCraw gets the whistle for her serve, and it's an ace. Cecilia Petratus rolls, trying to keep it off the floor, and it's Banks coming up with the first point of the second set, or of the fourth set. Serve from McCraw, Dakota King. Return by Frey, far side. Bogroff misplays it. Janicek dives, tracks it down near side after it was misplayed. Partially returned by Frey. We're going to get a hitting error on the Braves, tied at 1, side out back to the Tigers, and Cecilia Petratus. And this time her serve goes long. 2-1 Braves in the second set, or in the fourth set. Serve from Jansen. Dakota King near back corner to Cecilia Petratus. Far side Adele Petratus off the top of the net, far side for the kill, tied at 2. Serve from Wolf, skips off the net. 3-2, Tigers with the lead in the third, or in the fourth set. Serve from Wolf, Maller far side. Gets it back from McCraw and comes up short. And after the Braves had done so well at staying away from unforced errors in the third set, now early in the fourth, they're back to some of their old ways. Paddle at the net. Wolf, far side for Gregor. Janicek gets it back from McCraw into the far back corner, played by Dakota King. Set across, far back corner to Shook for the Braves near the student section. Dakota King, center of the back row for the Tigers. Adele Petratus return is going to be misplayed by McCraw to the center of the bleachers, a couple rows deep. 5-2 Tigers in the fourth. Maria Wolf, her serve to Bogroff. McCraw, Maller, right back in her face, off the block. Braves recover, though, defensively. And Cecilia Petratus trying to keep it alive as Gregor from the wide of the far side net pole, and it is return, but it lands wide, and it's 5-3 side out back to the Braves, trailing by 2. Evie will come in for Bogroff. Herbert to serve. Now playing libero for the Tigers, Ollie Matson. Tigers come up short and Braves within 1, 5-4 early in the 4th. So from Herbert, Cecilia Petraeus to Natalie Frey, and a lot of hot action at the net that time. And Braves come up with the point. Players diving all over the floor to keep that volley alive. The point is won by the Braves and tied at 5. The serve from Herbert. Matson, the libero. Cecilia Petraeus to Adele for the kill past Herbert. Tigers regain the lead at 6-5. Maller will come in for Herbert, but nice job for the Braves to battle back on that side out and come back to tie it. 6-5 for jump serve from Natalie Frey. Shook to McCraw. Back sets to King. Over the top, dumps it over, tied at 6. Donnelly comes in for McCraw. Serve from King. Is across, picked up by Frey. Petraeus too far near the student section. YC bench wanting a touch. I don't think they're going to get it. 7-6. Banks back with a 1-point lead. And that time McKenna King comes up well short as it goes underneath the net. Side out back to the Tigers, tied at 7. Serve from Del Petraeus this time. Donnelly pulls it back. Evie misplays it. It spins its way across the net, but it went off the side of her hand, and she angles it to the near side wide. Out of bounds, 8-7. Tigers regain the lead. Adele Petraeus. Her serve goes to Maller, and it goes to the bottom of the net. Too far underneath. King can't pull it back, and now the Tigers with a 2-point lead, 9-7. Adele's serve to Shook. King blocked back in the face of Donnelly, 10-7. Tigers with a 3-point advantage, and they may need a timeout here if this run continues. Adele Petraeus, her serve to Maller, center of the back row. King sets up Donnelly, too much, 11-7, timeout Banks. Banks battled back for a 4th set victory, but falling into some old ways again, communication issues, and not really so much that, but just unforced errors, hitting errors, and Tigers with a 4-point lead, 11-7 in the 4th with a 2-set-to-1 advantage. We'll take a 30-second break and return after this from Christy Van Meter.
Your local lender, Christy Van Meter at Union Home Mortgage, is here to walk you through every step in purchasing your new home. Christy and her team bring trusted knowledge and years of experience to make your home loan financing process an enjoyable one. If you're in the business or have questions about purchasing or refinancing your home, call Christy Van Meter at Union Home Mortgage, 503-327-5302, or visit uhm.com/kvanmeter. Union Home Mortgage, official sponsor of the PBR. Union Home Mortgage promises kept. Christy Van Meter is licensed in Oregon 1700271, Washington MLO-1700271, and Arizona 1039867. Union Home Mortgage is an equal housing lender, NMLS number 2229.
And we're back following the Braves timeout, trailing 11-7 in the 4th set. Serve from Adele Petraeus is returned by the Braves and angled beautifully by Cecilia Petraeus from the far side, all the way across to the near side after the Braves front line had shifted over for defensive purposes, and it's 12-7 Tigers. Adele Petradis, her serve to Janicek, gets it back from King, far side. Returned out of the back row by Jocelyn. Tigers. And coming up short, Janicek diving to the floor, almost right across the midcourt stripe. 13-7 Tigers. Serve from Adele Petradis to Maller. King chases it down at the front line. Off the top of the net, returned by Donnelly. Petradis, Adele Petradis, Gregor, and Shook plays it behind her into the student section. 14-7 YC. Adele Petradis hoping to extend an even larger lead for the Tigers at 14-7, returned by Shook. Matson. Adele Petradis sets up Dakota King. Shook to Janicek on the return. Back row, near back corner is Natalie Frey. That's the one with the long hair, and Shook tries to come up along the far sideline and is short. 15-7 Tigers. Adele Petradis, her serve back row to Maller. Just plays it a little bit, but Donnelly, no problem, gets it along the near side. Dumped over by King, and Janicek dives. Able to pull it back into the bottom of the net. Evie can't pull it away from the net, and it's 16-7. Tigers, I think, about to put the Braves away in 4. An ace from Adele Petradis. Shook dives short, 17-7. Serve from Adele Petradis. Maller gets it back from King and comes up short. Another timeout. 18-7 YC, running out of gas in the fourth set. And still a couple of matches left in the season, but if Banks really wanted to have any chance, I think, of getting back in the playoff discussion, this was a match that they really needed to have. And looks like they're going to drop 2 games or 2 matches below fourth place YC, down 2-1, trailing 18-7 in the third. We'll go ahead and keep it here. Banks football will be at Kennedy of Mount Angel, about halfway between Woodburn and Silverton, on tomorrow night. We'll be live with the pregame at 6:45. Key player to watch for Kennedy is quarterback Ethan Kleinschmidt, but they've got a lot of talented players at key positions. Should be a pretty good match. Kennedy's closest win in an undefeated season came last week, 13-6 at home against Sisters. And we're back. We return to action, I should say, following the Braves timeout. 18-7 Tigers lead. The serve from Petradis is returned by the Braves, and Shook dives, trying to keep a ball in play that was well wide in front of the student section. 19-7. The serve from Adele Petradis. Maller dives in front of her, and Braves are going to come up short. Janicek pulls it back away from the bleachers, but unable to get it across on the third hit. 20-7. They're not letting other teams beat them. They're letting other teams beat them by beating themselves. And the serve from Adele Petradis. Maller. King is unable to stay off the net. Maller led her too far. 21-7. Serve from Adele Petradis. Shook to McKenna King, off the near side to Maller. Dug off the floor by the Tigers. Getting it back is going to leave Gregor. McKenna King for the Braves, returned by Evie. Adele Petradis off the net, past Evie, who did a great job trying to come up with the block, but the ball hung on the net, and so it affected the timing of her jump, and she was late. 22-7. Serve from Adele Petratus again. Maller to King, misplays it, and it's going to get called for a double hit. 23-7 up off the bench, Morgan McCraw. Again, Adele Petratus for what has seemed like 15 straight serves. Maybe not quite that many, but at least 10. And McKenna King has just sent YC to match point, up 24-7 in the fourth. Turned by the Braves. Maller to King. Back to Maller, off the top of the net. The Braves will live to see at least another point, now trailing 24-8. Serve from Janicek. Matson comes to get it on a knee. Returned by YC. Maller far side. King. Evie dumps it over for the point. 24-9. Serve from Janicek. Matson plays it. Adele Petratus to Gregor, and we're going to get a hitting error. 4 hits on the Tigers. 3 straight now for the Braves, but still trailing big time, 24-10. Serve from Janicek. Matson. Adele Petratus. Oh, incredible job by Maller, diving to the floor on what looked like a sure kill block. And coming up with the point is the Tigers after the great effort from the front side, near side of the front line. And Tigers come away with a four-set victory, 3-1. With a 25-12, 25-19, 18-25, 25-10 lead to improve to 5-4. Banks will drop to 3-6, 2 games behind Yamhill-Carlton for 4th place. And a 2-game lead on Neocony and Riverdale, tied for last place at 1-7. That'll do it for us for volleyball tonight. We'll be back, Lord willing, tomorrow night at Kennedy of Mount Angel for what should be the matchup of the week in 3A football, as both teams come in undefeated. Kennedy, the top-ranked team in 3A football, and Banks, both teams 5-0 entering week 6, with each team 3 games left after that. After Kennedy this week for the Braves, they will be at Siuslaw Florence, at home against Valley Catholic, and then finish at Warrenton. Warrenton also battling for a playoff spot, either 3rd or 4th out of the Coastal Range League. And a heated discussion going on between Jess McGraw and one of the officials after the match. I know she was upset with a couple of calls, but I think that all stemmed from the fact that they had a fan that wanted to sit in a kind of a power chair, powered wheelchair along the bench. And if that was a basketball move, that would have been a tee for sure, I think, but the game is well over, and Banks falls in a 3-1 defeat again. YC with a 25-12, 25-19, 18-25, 25-10 victory to keep their playoff hopes alive. Currently ranked 22, 2 spots out of the top 20 that advance to the state tournament at the end of the month. That'll do it for us. Hope to have you join us tomorrow night. Hope to be live with the pregame at 6:45 from Kennedy High School in Mount Angel. Should be a packed house. Should be a close one. Both teams very high potent offenses. Banks only giving up 33 points a game through their first 5 games, but they'll see a much different offense tonight or tomorrow night than they've seen all league. Hope to have you join us at 6:45. Hopefully my voice will return by then. If not, we'll do the best we can, and enjoy the rest of your Thursday night. Good night, and God bless.